Divorce dad. If you've been struggling with anxiety, with panic, with depression, co-parenting issues, and perhaps building and maintaining a relationship with your kids, this video is for you. Because in this video, I'm going to share with you a 4-step proven system that will allow you to go from bitter, broken, and depressed divorcee to a confident, masculine, and resilient man in 12 weeks or less. And all of that without spending years in therapy, and even if you've been depressed for months, if not years. Now, I'm going to share with you a step-by-step game plan to get your driving confidence back as a man, become the world-class father that your kids need and deserve, and create a thriving co-parenting relationship so you can finally be the man and the father you know you always wanted to be. So what we're going to cover today are 4 things. First of all, why you're struggling as a divorced dad. It seems like so many men do, and it seems like it's a curse that afflicts most divorced men. The second thing I'm going to share with you are the big mistakes that you probably are making right now and how they impact your life and your kids' life in a negative way. The third thing I'm going to share with you is what to do to solve your problems. And the fourth thing I'm going to share with you is what do you need to do right now to get going on this journey. Before we get into any of this, I just want you to subscribe right now, not to miss more of the exclusive content that I'm going to be sharing with you every single week. Also, if you like this video, please share it with another divorced dad or somebody who's going through divorce. It may save their life and their kid's life as well. So let's venture now into the core of the topic. Why do you struggle being a divorced dad? Well, there are many factors. One of them, and probably the biggest one, is the complexity of today's life. It has never been more complex to live. Look, there are so many different innovations, so many different changes. It's a fast-paced world, a lot of changes. More importantly, now you're single, so you have all of the responsibilities on your shoulders. You don't have a partner to help you out with some home activities or with driving kids around or just with day-to-day life. You have to do and rebuild your life, everything from ground up by yourself. Not easy. Furthermore, you need to learn how to become autonomous and self-sufficient. So there are many different levels of skills that you need to learn all at once. It's easy to get overwhelmed. And furthermore, when we divorce, chances are there is conflict with the ex. So learning how to deal with that conflict and transforming that conflict into opportunities for improvement, for growth, this is also not easy. The second aspect why you may be struggling right now as divorced dad is that divorce shatters identity. For us men, especially in the family, especially with kids, we often attach ourselves to the identity that we're protector and provider for the family. So divorce just breaks that into a million pieces. And then we scramble picking those pieces up. And then we forget, why are we on this planet? What are we here to do? Like we feel broken and we feel like we failed in the most important task that we've been put here on this planet. And that is to protect and to provide for our family. What do we do next? So getting all of those pieces back together, recreating a new identity is a very important task, and it's not an easy one, and not many people present a blueprint on how to do that. So watch this video because I'm going to share that with you. Another reason why many divorced dads are struggling are social labels. Most divorced dads are perceived as broken goods, as damaged goods after divorce. It means if a woman divorced a man, he did some bad things. He lashed out, he yelled, maybe he did drugs and alcohol, maybe he beat her, maybe he beat the kids, maybe sexual assault, whatever there is, right? Like society is not thinking, they just stick the etiquette on the man and that's it. And that exacerbates the fourth aspect, the feelings of being inadequate, feeling of being broken and as a failure. And so we already have all of that after divorce because our identity has been shattered, but now we don't even have anybody to talk to. But these are only some of the factors, but it doesn't go to the root cause. The root cause why a single dad, why a divorced dad struggles after divorce is a big system. And I'm going to share that with you with an analogy. I want you to consider your life as that of a car. All right. So what do you have in a car? You have the body component, and this is the way you look to the outside world. And you have the frame or the structure component. And these are all the internal pieces of your life as a single dad, as a divorced dad, or as a dad in general. The body of the car is how you appear to the outside world. Let's take a look at what's really on the inside. You have the frame, the structure, and this is really how you allocate your time, the different routines you build. What areas of your life do you prioritize? How do you make decisions in your life? Where does your money go? Where does your time go? Where does your energy go? So this is the structure. Do you know how to learn? What are you learning? What are your long-term goals? What are your projects? What are you driving to? All of this is part of the structure. It's structuring your life. Okay? Let me tell you, if you don't have a structure right now in your life, there is all the other pieces cannot be attached to it, to your life. And so everything falls apart. Another important thing is the gas tank that holds the gas. So what is this gas for a man? Well, a gas for the man is his reason why he's doing all of this. Again, when divorce shatters identity, we lose the reason why. So we don't have the drive, we don't have the energy, we don't have the masculine drive anymore in our life. We lose our masculinity. So the gas is super important. With no gas, we don't go anywhere in life. So the gas tank is your reason why. If you have a strong why you're living, why you're doing all of this work, why you keep on persevering to rebuilding your relationship and rebuilding your life after divorce, well, you're going to be driving every single day. If you don't have that, you're going to be meaningless and just wandering with no energy, and that's going to be it. Then you have the engine. What is the engine? The engine is your health. If you don't have the health, the car goes nowhere. And then you have the four wheels. So the first wheel is your mental and emotional stability. It's your mindset. And there are two big mindsets. You can be a victim or you can be a victor. The victim blames the outside circumstances for their failure. They failed because. The victor takes those circumstances and says, you know what? I'm going to succeed despite. So the victor succeeds despite, finds a way, is resourceful, understands the system and works the system, and perseveres until they get it done. These are two main mindsets. Everything else stems from that. Okay? Then you have the second wheel, and that's your fatherhood. How is your connection with your kids? Are you being the gray wolf who destroys safety and trust with them, who destroys the relationship, or who's withdrawn from the relationship? Or are you being the white wolf who provides that safe environment where the kids can grow and develop, where they can come home and relax and be at home? Not in the outside world where there are a lot of dangers, but home where they feel safe, where they feel nurtured, where they feel connected to you. The third wheel is co-parenting. How do you co-parent? Is it conflict? Do you even talk? Is it toxic co-parenting or is it thriving co-parenting? Is it aligned on different goals or you have two different visions for how you're going to be bringing your kids? And then you have the fourth wheel. And the fourth wheel is your money and career and finance in general. Where do you go in life? Do you have a long-term plan to generating money? Do you have a plan for your retirement? Do you know how much money you will need a year, 5 years, 10 years from now? Do you have a plan for your career? Do you want to accomplish something in your life? So these are important topics. In the relationship, they're still present. It's just that in the relationship, all of those topics, there is a partner that comes and sits in the car with us. But all of those topics still need to be taken care of. When we divorce, what happens? The woman leaves the car, and this is what your life may look like in many places. So again, divorce shatters identity. So all of a sudden, we'll lose the reason why. So our gas tank is empty. We might engage in all kinds of distractions that are not good for our health. So we actually sabotage our engine, ensuring that down the road we won't be able to drive our life anywhere. Our life becomes meaningless. We lose our structure because when the woman was here, we had a certain kind of structure. We had a certain kind of routine, responsibilities, delegation. She's responsible for this, I'm responsible for this. And now, when we're with kids, we're responsible for everything. So creating those different structures, routines, allocating our time, making decisions. Now we need to relearn how to make decisions, allocating between different priorities. That also changes. The mindset, it takes a big toll. We don't know where we're going. All of a sudden we're depressed, we're anxious, we're panicked. What if we're going to be staying alone for life? Which is a very real possibility for divorced dads. I'm not going to lie to you, it's a real possibility if you don't master the system. The fatherhood, we feel disconnected. We're physically present with them, but we feel disconnected. They stop sharing with us. They begin to perceive us as this gray wolf who destroys safety, who withdraws. They don't feel safe, especially during a divorce when they need their father the most. The father is absent because they cannot take the pain. Okay? Or they kill the pain with antidepressants and then they're completely disconnected from themselves. Then the co-parenting becomes toxic. There is conflict. And as long as there is conflict, kids are suffering. And then there is, of course, the money and finance. Now we need to support two households. And because we struggle balancing all of this, we didn't build the structure to balance it all yet. our money takes a hit and we even forget about our career. Sometimes if we're in business, that takes a big hit and we don't even see how we can grow the business. And of course, how do we look on the outside world? A lot of the men, unfortunately, start to patching the look, how they look like. So they're in the garage, the car is stationary, but it looks good, but their life just goes nowhere. That's the analogy. So I hope you understand that aside from environmental factors, how it affects the system of your life. And now what I want to do is discuss with you the 3 big mistakes that divorced men do. Possibly you do as well, probably you do. If not 3 of them, at least 1 or 2. Now that you understand why divorce and how divorce shatters your life, let's take a look at what not to do to rebuild your life, because there are 3 main mistakes that divorced men do that are completely destructive for the long-term well-being of their family. So mistake number 1, and that's numbing the pain and running away from the complexities of your situation. So again, your situation is not easy. It's complex. When you take a totaled car and you need to rebuild, where do you even start? Well, if you don't have a system, you're overwhelmed. And so when you look at that and you sit there and you scratch your head and go, fuck this. And then you try to numb the pain. You go into distractions like porn, Facebook and Instagram viewing and scrolling, watching all kinds of sports, food, alcohol, different addictions to drugs, maybe overworking and mindless entertainment. And all of that while neglecting your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. So where does that lead you? Well, you accumulate more damage because, as long as you numb the pain doesn't go anywhere. It just accumulates. It's like imagine you have this bottle, this container inside of you, and you just deposit more pain. But the pain is not just static there. It accumulates, it compounds like interest on your savings account, but the interest rate is much higher. And eventually what happens, it explodes. So as long as you're not addressing the root cause of the issue, nothing is going to happen for you with this pain. It's just going to accumulate. It's like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. You can hold it, but eventually it's going to come out with a vengeance. Or like my mentor used to say, you can squeeze your ass only for so long. But eventually when there is enough shit, it's going to come out. And you're going to shit all over the place. I hope you understand why numbing the pain and engaging in all kinds of distractions to avoid the complexity of your situation is outright stupid and detrimental to your life and to your long-term well-being. Mistake number 2. Looking for shortcuts or quick fix solutions. Oh my God, I don't know what to do, but let me read this book. Let me watch online courses, YouTube videos, articles, online courses, even therapy. All of that is doomed to fail if you're not willing to do the deep internal work that's required to rebuild yourself and the deep outside work to rebuild the life around you. Systemically, consistently, with discipline over time. If you're not willing to do this, all of those resources are going to fail you. Furthermore, a lot of those resources, what they do, they provide you tiny bits of information. But if you don't have a structure in place to actually put all of that into a systemic approach, they're going to fail. It's like it's trying to fix your car when it's totaled. And you say, well, I put one wheel back and expect the car to drive somewhere. No, it's not going to happen. You need the full systemic approach. And again, guys, there is no magic pill to this that will instantly alleviate your pain or rebuild your relationships or your situation. Your situation is complex and complicated. It requires a holistic approach. And what I want to also mention here is that a lot of the men, they think that, oh, new book, new solution, let me venture into that. And for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, they're in it, they're immersed, they have the impression they're moving somewhere and that their life is getting better. But then a couple of months later, they see that nothing has changed. Why is that? Well, it's because information is not transformation. Back in the day when knowledge and information was not widely available, knowledge was power. Not anymore. Knowledge is available at your fingertips. You go to AI, you type something, boom, you have all the knowledge you want. What's required in your situation is not more information. You already have enough. What's required in your situation is transformation. And what is that? It's the right kind of information applied in the right way, repeatedly, and improved upon. That leads to transformation. So if you have the wrong kind of information and you act upon it, you're going to get in the wrong place faster. Mistake number 3 is figuring it out on your own or with a group of friends or peers. Now look, going solo is a recipe for disaster. Why? Well, it's like climbing Mount Everest without a compass, without a map, and without support. You're doomed to fail. It's guaranteed death. Again, guys, you guys need to rebuild your car. Do it yourself will not work. You need outside help. You need support. And you need to make sure that you are consistently doing it according to a system. There is a specific order of things that you need to do it, right? And the second thing, a lot of the men, they kind of get in small groups and they work together. But what it's like, again, climbing that Mount Everest without support, without a map, it's not as lonely, but you still get nowhere. You can think of it in a different way. It's like when you do it with a group of friends, it's like you're going to university or you're going to a course to become a mechanic, right? To fix your car. And you watch those videos on YouTube and you exchange information or even online courses. But reality is you don't have a teacher who grades your homework, who tells you, well, this is well done and this is not well done. And then you go down on the road and your car collapses. In the university, you were saying, well, look, I'm doing my work. And other guys are like, oh, that seems like good work. And they grade you as A+. And here you are collapsed on the road and you don't understand what's happening. You go, well, I'm a straight A student because you graded your own homework. And your friends confirm to you that you're a great guy. But here your life collapses. You don't understand why. So when you go solo or when you take advice from a group of friends or peers, that's what happens because their job is not to provide you advice. They don't have the expertise. They were not trained to do this. They can care for you, help you, have a good time together, support you in some ways. But when it comes to this, they're not trained to do that. They genuinely want to help you. And they have emotional attachment also. Like they don't want to offend you in any way by telling you the opposite of what you believe to be true. And so they're not going to be telling you all the truth. And so you're going to be continuing going in the wrong direction. So this third mistake is probably the hardest hitting, the most detrimental to your long-term success. You should never allow yourself to grade your own homework and to decide how good of a man you are because you just don't know. You're blind to yourself. I just scrolled the internet and you can do it on your own, right? Just to take a look at what happens when guys do it themselves to repair their cars after divorce. So, and there was not significant damage here, right? But here you can see like this guy added something from wood. Here, duct tape, duct tape seems to be the go-to. Here's another thing, right? And check this out, the wheel took off, like let's say the Fatherhood wheel, right? And what they do, this is how they fix it. This guy obviously was very strong on appearance. He wanted to appear like he had a sports car, and that's what he did. How long will that last? This guy added those bags. I mean, obviously this one is more of a fake one, but you get the idea, right? What guys think will work, but in reality, is it really safe to drive that kind of a car? And yet they have the kids in the back seats. So now that we understand what not to do, let's talk about what you need to do to rebuild your life after divorce so that you can become this masculine, confident, driven man, so that you wake up with energy in the morning, so that you come home to a thriving life with kids, all the connection and the goodwill, and the thriving co-parenting with the relationship. And let me tell you why you're going to be doing all of this work. Because look, right now, when you're driving your car, which is totaled for many men after divorce, what are the chances that the woman will want to come and sit in that car for a long period of time? Maybe you're going to do a quick fix to look good, right? The body of the car. And the woman is going to be, oh, that car looks good. Let me go and sit down. Maybe you spoke a little bit. Maybe you created a bunch of lies to her. And she sits down and she thinks, oh my God, this might be good. This might work out. But then as you start driving, the wheel comes off. And you go, honey, let me fix that. It's like, I don't know what's happening, right? Let me fix that real quick. You fix that. And then another wheel comes off. And then another. And then you have no more fuel in your tank and saying, you don't have any more gas in your tank. Say, oh, you know what, honey? Not today. Another time. I'm so tired today. And you have a health challenge because of all of those unhealthy habits you have. And then the rust that you've hidden with a paint job begins to appear. And the lady goes, what's happening here? Like, I didn't purchase that car. I didn't go for a ride on this car. Something is not working well. Then she looks under the hood herself and she says, oh my God, I better get out of this real quick. And she gets out. So this is the tragedy of divorced guys who don't do the work to rebuild their life after divorce, is that no quality woman wants to stay with them. That's the reality. And so who did men attract? Because we're still men and we still want a woman. Well, I presume you like women because you have kids, right? No judgment if you don't like, but I presume you like women. So we still want women. And that doesn't go anywhere. And if you deny your instinctual needs, you're just shooting yourself in that same place where you deny yourself it. So we still want women. And so we're only going to attract, and the only women who are going to accept this state are women who come with a lot of luggage themselves. And so what's going to happen? They're going to bring a lot of luggage, put themselves in that car, and now you have to deal not only with your crap, but with hers as well. Maybe you've experienced that already in your life. So perhaps you can relate. If you didn't yet, like, mark my words, this is what's going to happen if you fail to rebuild your life. And let me tell you another thing. Hoping that it's going to take care of itself, that's not going to work. Hope is an illusion. The only thing that's going to work is you doing the work. That's it. And not just doing any kind of work and say, well, I tried, I did my best, and I don't know what's happening here. No, doing the right kind of work, the right kind of system, rebuilding it step by step as you're supposed to get your car together, not to pretend you did something, but to actually rebuild your life so that you can enjoy it, so your life can go somewhere instead of going in the great nowhere. So I hope you understand how important it is for you to get it and to do the right steps in the right order for yourself. Okay, so let's venture into that. Your first step should be to rebuild your frame, not the body of the car. A lot of the men, oh, let me take care of my hair. Like I'm bald and it's like I need some more hair, or I need to do the dental, or I need to go to the gym to look good. No. Sure, you need to go to the gym so that you're healthy, not to appear good. You should focus on your health, and that's part of the frame. It means organizing your life, structuring it. What are your priorities? What are the different domains in your life? Auditing, where does your time go? Actually sitting down and noticing, today I spend my time here. And not just at the end of the day, but as you go through the day, noticing where does my time go? Because you have a limited amount of time, like everybody, but your responsibilities increased manifold. So you need to become efficient and effective with your time. So you need to sit down and note for periods of multiple weeks, where does your time go? Noticing it and asking yourself, is this really good for me where my time goes? When I scroll 30 minutes on Facebook, when I go on dating apps and spend an hour interacting with somebody, knowing it's not going to go anywhere, is this really the best use of my time in my situation? Am I working on the appearance, on looking good, or am I working on the underlying issues that I absolutely need to solve if I want anything in life? Ask yourself this. You do the exact same thing with your money. You audit your budget. You sit down and look at your expenses for the past months and say, where is my money going? And is this the right allocation for my money? You do the same thing with your energy. You wake up and like, where is my energy going? Are you energy-less? Or do you have energy? And in order to have more energy, guess what? You just need a stronger why. If you don't have a why, you have no energy. That's how it works. So if you wake up and you don't know where you're going, you have no gas, period. You need to ask yourself, why am I living? Where do I go? What do I attach myself to? Who am I? So you rebuild your identity and you need to rebuild your strong reason why. So this is part of the frame. And then you select your priority. So self-care, doing that mindset shift from victim to victor. Fatherhood, co-parenting, outlining your priorities, money and career, and then actively allocating your time, your money, and your energy towards those priorities. This is the frame. This is the structure. Without it, nothing is going to work long term because you cannot attach the wheels. You cannot hold the engine. You cannot have the gas tank. You not have the body without the frame, without the structure. If you have a faulty structure and frame, nothing is going to work long term. So your life right now is the result of what has been done over the past 12 to 24 months, if not longer. You don't have all that much power on your life today aside from what you do. But what you do determines the kind of life you're going to be living 6 to 12 months down the road. Without the right structure, you won't be able to do it consistently. So this is step number one. If you try to attach the wheel to a shaking structure, for sure it's going to fall off. You're shooting yourself in the dick. And that's just like a quick fix that we spoke about. That's a big mistake. Don't do that. Make sure you address the right thing at the right time. The second thing you need to do, it's master the mindset wheel. Why is it important? Well, the way that your life works is that you have certain outcomes in your life. What are they a result of? Well, they're a result of your actions. Well, what are your actions a result of? The result of how you feel. But what are your feelings a result of? They're a result of how you think. And how you think, what is the result of? It's your mindset. It's the general attitude that you have will determine how you think. Your thinking will determine how you feel. Your feelings will determine how you act and what you do, and that will determine the outcome in your life. So right now, your life is a result of your mindset. You understand? Mindset shifts don't not happen overnight. It's not like, oh, today I'm a victor and I will stay a victor. It doesn't work like this. By default, we humans, all the humans, not just men, all the humans stay in the victim mode by default and we don't even know it. Why? Because we have two kinds of minds. We have the surviving mind, and that's the animal mind. And we're deeply programmed to survive. And to survive, it means avoid danger, avoid action, avoid doing something, stay in inertia, stay like hide somewhere and survive. Like, oh my God, it's war out there and I just need to hide. But that's how the surviving mind, the brain, the animal mind thinks, survival mode. And so, why is it important to understand this? Well, when you're a victim, you absolve yourself of all the responsibility. Oh, it's their fault, they need to fix it. I have nothing to do. I'm a victim here. They should be paying reparations to me. She should be coming back to me to talk to me. I did not ask for the divorce, so I have nothing to do here. Being a victim absolves you of all responsibility, and so you don't have to do anything. But your mind, it's programmed to think this way. It's like, you don't need to do anything. And so you don't do anything. You don't rebuild your car because it's someone else's responsibility. So in order to switch from victim to victor, you actually must take the responsibility to do all of this work. But you're not going to do it if you don't have enough gas in your tank. So you need a very strong why. So you need to rebuild identity. Do you understand why the first step is so important to the second step? And I hope you understand that without the second step, nothing is going to work in the third and fourth step. I hope you understand this by now. So you absolutely need to make that shift from victim to victor. And I guarantee you, if you're in a situation where you're in a victim mindset because that's how most of us operate by default, unless you program it in a different way. And if you have been programming that in a different way, you wouldn't be watching this video right now. Guaranteed. After that, the third step is to attach that fatherhood wheel. And so if you did not rebuild your mindset and taken responsibility for your life and created a new why for your life and created a new identity for your life, your fatherhood is going to fail over time, and that's going to create damage and that's going to create distance. And when they grow up, perhaps they will not want to be with you. So your job as a father here, it's super simple. I'm going to give you two concepts that can transform your life. Kids, especially when they're not in adolescence, they see their parents as two people in one. There is the good guy and the bad guy. There is the good mom and the bad mom. So when they're being punished or when there is a crisis, it's the bad mom role. They cannot, for them, you can research that. They don't have a one identity for their parents. It's like two identity for each. And so if you've been creating damage or if you've been disconnected from your true self, from your identity while you're with them, what they see is that good guy disappearing. And there is only who's left by default, the bad guy. And so when they come home, subconsciously, it's not conscious, right? It's all subconscious. They come to that gray wolf. Because that's the bad guy. That's the one who stays there. They come to that gray wolf. And what does the gray wolf do? Destroy safety, destroy security. So they feel stressed at home with you when they should be feeling thriving. There were studies done where they put a sheep and a wolf in cages in the same room. Within 3 days, the sheep dies because of stress and anxiety. She cannot handle it because the aggressor is in the same place. Think about it. For the kids, if you're not the white wolf, you're the gray wolf. And they feel like the sheep. It creates long-term trauma for them. So your goal here is to create that white wolf environment, a safe place. And in order to do that, you create one thing. If you focus on this one thing, and there are many different techniques that I can teach you, but if you do this one thing right, this is going to completely transform your parenting and the relationship with your kids. And this is special time with each kid. However many kids you currently have, what you will need to do is create a special time with each kid one-on-one. At least 10 minutes per day. At least. Okay? Each kid, find the time, make it a priority. So analyze your time where it goes, find that time, create that as a priority number one for the fatherhood wheel. Why is it important? When you're present with them every single day, completely, body, mind, and soul, you're emotionally present, you're physically present, your mind is present, and you do what they want. It's not like they come, oh, for our time together today, we're going to construct this or we're going to wash my car. No, they get to choose what they do, what they want to do with you. You don't have a say. Well, if it's something dangerous, you may. And obviously, playing video games or watching a movie is not a good time for this kind of activity. Something else. But aside from that, it's their choice. Your goal is to be present and to participate. Prior to it, you label it, hey, it's going to be our special time, and from now on, it's going to be every day. And at the end of it, you can even put the timer. Sometimes when I'm pressed for time, I put the timer. I go, okay, here's our 15 minutes. And at the end of it, you go, I so enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to do it the next time. And at some point, you can sit down. What would you like to do the next time, and the next time, and the next time? You're going to see a couple of things. The first thing is that when that time ends, you're going to say, already, I want more. Guaranteed that's going to happen. They want more because they've been missing you for such a long time. They will want more. Guaranteed. And that's a great opportunity. Honey, tomorrow we're going to get more. I promise from now on, you're going to have that every day because I like that so much. And I have not been present for a long time, but now I want to be present and I enjoy it so much being present with you. If they don't like to do it because the relationship has been so damaged already, you can just sit there with them for 10 minutes. And over time, that's going to open them up. They see, okay, well, that's actually not a gray wolf. He's not parenting me. He's not coercing me. He's not punishing me. He's not doing anything negative. Well, maybe we can talk. And slowly but surely, you're going to start opening up and creating something. Be patient. If you created that much damage, be prepared to take responsibility for it. Be persistent in this, okay? This is a super important practice. And with each kid separately. You don't do it together. Together is not the same thing. It's family time. You do it with each separately. If you do that, you will see results in a matter of days, if not hours. The power struggles disappear or are reduced significantly. The resistance to what you say is reduced significantly. And then the fourth one, master the co-parenting wheel. So here, it's important to understand, for as long as there is conflict between you and your ex, your kids know it subconsciously. They know it, I guarantee you, even if you try to hide it. Unfortunately, most exes don't try to hide it. And what it does is that the kid internally needs to make a choice, mommy or daddy. But the truth is they cannot make that choice. They want both and they're entitled and it's their full right to have both mommy and the daddy. If they're forced to make a choice, it's torture for them. Internally, every day, they're tortured. I'm going to tell you just a little bit of a story from my own life. What happened in my own life and when was this big aha moment and metamorphosis that happened. If you don't know, I'm separated twice from two mothers to two of my kids. I was never married. So there was never a divorce, but separation is just like, same thing, different label. And with the first mom, I brought her 18 times to court, 18 times over the period of 5 years. I wanted war. I wanted conflict, and I thought that's the way to resolve it. Spent a fortune on this. She was drained. I wanted to prove a point. As a result, did I win? No, I lost because my son, at some point, he broke down crying. He goes, Dad, I don't understand. Why do I have those parents? What did I do to deserve that? Why do I even live? He was crying and crying, crying. Just me telling you, like, emotion surface, because I remember it was so profound to me. He cried for hours and then he went to bed crying. He fell asleep crying. I cried as well. I go like, no more. I will never again accept that. I found my reason why. To do all of the hard work that I'm telling you right now that you need to do. That was my reason why. And I did this. And right now, despite me going to court with them, despite me fighting, despite, all of the crap that we had, the long email exchanges and fighting and garbage and trauma and her alienating my son and me subconsciously alienating my son, for sure I was doing that. I was not doing it consciously. I was not telling, we were not talking about her, but subconsciously with comments, with attitude, they knew. And so right now, what we have is we have a healthy, aligned co-parenting. We have family time. Every month, we go together. the family, the mother, the son, and me. And that happens on both sides with both mothers. We go together somewhere and we do an activity our kid wants. But furthermore, we fix the internal shit. I'm not saying we don't have disagreement. We have disagreement every single week on a lot of different issues. But we don't have conflict anymore. We learned how to resolve our disagreements in a pacific, peaceful way, in a respectful way. There is respect and benevolence. I owned my shit, and she started owning hers as well. And it can happen quicker than you may think. For me, it was a matter of months, a few months, and we'll rebuild that. So let me give you the first step here. But again, if you don't have the frame and the reason why, you're going to fail here. You're going to fail dramatically and spectacularly. So the reason why is super important. But let me give you the first step. The first step in this is to come and to announce that you're changing direction. I could teach you how to do it properly, but here in this video, I'm just going to tell you the general principle. If you're ready to do that, of course, if you're ready to take ownership of your shit, the first step is to apologize. It's not because you're divorced that this woman is out of your life. She's in, she has a big place. And if you allow that relationship, if you allow that relationship to be shitty, well, this toxicity is going to create rust all over the place. Not her, the relationship toxicity. And you are also responsible for it. So the first step is to apologize, okay? It's important to understand the principles behind and why you do this. When you extend this olive branch, a lot of things can happen. There can be a resistance because she doesn't trust you, and that's actually good because you'll be able to prove through resistance the new direction you want to go in. But what I want you to understand is the importance of rebuilding co-parenting relationship. And it's going to take time, but with the right tools, with the right mindset, with the right fatherhood, with the right frame, with the right gas in the tank and enough of it, with the right structure, with the right everything, you're going to do it well. And then you become attractive on the dating market. Now that your car is stable, now that it goes somewhere, you can focus more on your career and money and rebuild your life there. Because now that you don't have the energy drain, you don't have the distractions to deal with continuously, what you can do, you can put your mind, you can put your skills and expertise and time, and you know how to allocate that time to learning new skills, to develop yourself, and that will serve you in your career. Not only that, by going through this work, you're building essential skills already that are going to be super beneficial to you in your career and your work and making money. One of the first skills is organization and structure. Unfortunately, most people don't have that. By doing this work, you're learning that, and that's going to serve you in your career. And guarantee you're going to be making more money. Another one is leadership. To do all of this, you need to lead yourself, despite not feeling like it. And because you have all kinds of distractions. But you are going to lead yourself in doing this work, and you're going to lead your co-parent to do this work. You're going to lead your kids to do this work by example, without coercion. And that's a huge skill in the marketplace, leadership. Not many people have that. You're going to learn how to communicate effectively with kids, with a co-parent, and with people around you, and with yourself. Communication skills, not many people have that. You're going to learn how to shift your mindset. You will have a deep understanding of the subconscious mind and the inner wiring. And that's going to help you so much if you're in a manager role, if you're in sales position, if you are not yet, you will be presented with opportunities to get there. And that means more money. And conflict resolution. Right now, you're in a big conflict with your ex. When you resolve that conflict, everything else is peanuts, man. Peanuts. There is no conflict. You'll be able to transform any kind of disagreement into an opportunity for growth and synergy. That's what you will learn how to do. That can only be good for your career and your money. Okay? And this is not an exhaustive list of the skills that you're going to be building, but that in and out of itself, all of those soft skills are so key in the marketplace. And so for sure, you're going to be making more money when you do all of these processes right. So not only you're getting a beautiful car, you're actually getting paid to do this work. Isn't that great? All right. So now that you know the system, that I've given you some of the tips and techniques, you can make a decision. And what is decision? Decision, the word comes from the Latin word decidere, and that means to cut off. So now, if you're watching any kind of videos, you remember mistake number 2, It's like quick fixes, right? You watch a video, but you don't do the work. The first step to do any kind of work is to make a decision to cut off. What are you going to cut off? Are you going to be cutting off your old life, the life that you're living now? Just having that car wreck of a life continuously in the future. Are you going to be cutting that for the benefit of a better life, where you actually take ownership of your car, of your life, because no one else will, and you begin the rebuilding process so that that can lead you to a brighter future? Or you're going to cut off that beautiful life for the benefit of what you currently have? What's the choice? Now, if you decide to rebuild your life, I have a proposal to make you. Somewhere underneath this video in the description, there is a link to schedule a call with me. It's just an opportunity for us to sit down together and to put our minds together and to see whether what I have built in terms of a system, in terms of a coaching program for divorced dads to rebuild themselves from broken, toxic, depressed men into confident, driven, masculine men. And if we're a good fit and you're a match and I accept you in my program, great. We can start working on that immediately. If not, great. You will understand that I'm not a fit and you can go and choose the right person or right people to work with towards the realization of those goals. So I hope you're going to be making the right decision for you. So on that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, subscribe, put in comments, anything that goes through you. If you liked it, great. What do you think should be improved, or what different ideas you have in regards to the content that you've seen? And of course, share that video with older divorced men. I believe it's crucial for them to understand how it all works, the mistakes that are costing them and their kids a lot, and what they need to be doing from now on. Sharing is caring. So that being said, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.